This presentation is not an attempt at the production of art or entertainment, although to a certain extent it commandeers the artwork of others. It constitutes a multimodal description of my personal viewpoint with regards to certain aspects of the usage and development of language ability. Language ability is something everybody has. I have used the expression multimodal when describing this presentation because the presentation utilises text, music and images, both non-moving images and moving images. Although you might not have already noticed that the text in the presentation also exemplifies non-moving images. However, the main focus of attention ought to be the text in the presentation and not slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3. Slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 utilise methods that are not inherently suited for detailed discussion of language usage and language development. They are not suitable because accuracy, clarity and non-bias of language is of the utmost priority in the discussion of language usage and language development, as is true for almost anything I can think of. In this presentation, slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 refer to elements which are present in every non-frivolous use of speech and/or writing. The sequentiality of the slides might obscure the fact that each of the three elements are present simultaneously during each non-frivolous use of speech and/or writing. It would be useful to read this point again once you have viewed all the slides. With this being the case, would it have made a difference if the sequential order of slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 was changed? Slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 are also intended to be viewed to some extent as referring to different stages of language development. With regards to language usage, slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 each refer to a highly important element of language usage, with emphasis on 14.3 being required in most situations. Distinct emphasis on a specific language usage element occurs or is required depending on context. For example, consider the difference in emphasis on either 14.1, 14.2 or 14.3 that exists between the case where you are communicating with other people in a social context and the case where you are communicating for the purposes of formally complaining about something to an organisation. A polemic against religion. One of the aspects of religion I find particularly disturbing is its suspiciously conspicuous, and in my view nefarious, skewing of the personal faculty of language development towards 14.2, to the criminal neglect of 14.3, and to quite an extent 14.1. If this presentation were also viewed as both a scathing and a reproachful criticism of the media industry, I would not argue against that viewpoint. If anything, I would compliment the perceptiveness of anybody who viewed the presentation as such. The awkwardness and ultimate inappropriateness of expression utilised in slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 are as such that I would deem further discussion of the subject matter of the presentation in such terms as weaponisation of the presentation. All the slides, especially slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3, should be viewed mainly in terms of their descriptive shortcomings. This is not a furtive or surreptitious attempt at asking you to do what I should be doing of my own accord. Slides 14.1, 14.2 and 14.3 express what my intention and the text in the preceding slides have them express in a way that embeds what I think are deep-seated, near-universal fears about personal and/or language development. Please keep in mind that this presentation was only ever intended to be an intellectually sincere, though dilettantistic personal experiment in the utilisation of non-standard communication. Dilettantistic does not mean the same thing as lacking intellectual rigour. However, all aspects of language are very nuanced, and this presentation clearly does not treat its remarkably nuanced subject matter with intellectual rigour.